So, good morning everyone, I hope you are all well. So look, there's been some information out on the YouTube information superhighway, and we know that when there's information regarding the Summer Wells case, there's kind of a 50-50 chance on whether it's, bullshit or not. So look, we've been told that Allison has lost her children. Lost all of them. All gone. All of them are gone. Gone. So I'll put it to you this. How can an adoption go through that quickly? This would have had to have been the fastest adoption in the history of adoptions. And look, if this was something that was this easy to do, then why wouldn't the likes of Summer and her siblings have been dealt with by the authorities before all this came to pass, where we are now? Maybe Allison's got family and they stepped up and said, look, we know it's a struggle. We know that you're struggling to look after your children. I don't know what the struggle is, if I'm brutally honest, because Hunter was kind of out doing his own thing. We know that he would spend time out and about with Candace, and she would be funding his twisted teas and vapes and all that sort of stuff. And Hunter's sister is obviously older, and she's doing her own thing. And so I don't really know where the massive problems are. What these people are finding so difficult. How is it that all of these adults around this place just come across as like some of the worst parents you've ever met in your entire life? We've got to the likes of Allison. Like I say, we've got the fact that Hunter was allowed to vanish, disappear off the face of the planet with someone who was Allison. Were they friends? Were they not friends? But why would you let your teenage son go and hang about with Candace when you yourself we've kind of got the hints that she's called CPS on Candace in the past because of how she doesn't look after her children? I genuinely struggle with her. I struggle with all of this. I just struggle to see they're all bad, but they're all reporting each other, but then in the same breath they're letting their children hang about with the people who they're reporting. I struggle with it. I struggle because all of these children, all of them, were suffering at the hands of the parents in some way, shape or form, and it just seems that that's the general consensus when there is like a missing child. You start to hear about what was going on and what these children were being subjected to, and you could almost say that, well, it was always going to escalate that way. Like in the Michael Vaughan case, we hear now that Michael didn't go out the front door, he went out the back door and he went through the workshop and out that way. And Brandy was asked how many times he'd done this previously, and he had done it previously. And you think, well, if he'd done it previously, why weren't steps put in place so he couldn't do it again? We've just got Casper the kitten, and Casper decided to climb up a set of curtains and got onto a windowsill. But we'd already preempted that the kitten is bound to climb and likely to climb up the curtains and be able to get out of an open window. So guess what? We took measures, and that was to make sure that the windows weren't open wide enough to let the cat out. So how is it that some people can understand and preempt any kind of dangers and put in place things to prevent them, but other parents just seem to have this, they're just oblivious to it. And even if there's then a warning shot, they still miss it. In all walks of life, they call it the bird's triangle in industries. And it's where people, when something happens, like when a tragedy happens, they can look back and 9 times out of 10, probably not more than 9 times out of 10, pretty much 100% of the time, when something bad happens, there was a warning sign for it. There was something that said in the background somewhere, this is going to happen if you don't change something, do something. And all of these parents just seem to not be able, or just don't care. I don't know. Is it that people are so stupid that they don't understand it, or that they can't be bothered, they're just doing their own thing? What is happening? Is it the education of parents? Do the government needs to step in and start teaching people how to parent? Mandatory parenting classes to make sure, we have to have in the UK, we have to have a license to own a TV. Maybe it should be that you have to have a license to have a child. Maybe like driving, and you have to have a driving test and, get a driving license. Maybe when you've got a child, maybe you should be put through tests and make sure that you're capable. I think even now in the UK you have to have a license to own a dog, or that's coming out. How can people have a child's life in their hands but seemingly have no ability to look after them? Even their basic fundamental needs, cleanliness and keeping them fed and watered, seems to be a problem. But anyway, so has Allison lost her children? Who knows? Like I say, it would have had to have been the quickest adoption situation in the history of adoptions, unless it was going on way before. Maybe we're down the track and we just didn't know about it. Apparently Hunter had put a post on his Facebook thanking all of those people around him, saying that he would be gone again. Strange thing to say, if it weren't for those who was offering him support. And that did include his mum in that, so, who knows what's going on. But, I'm oblivious to it, because I just don't see how an adoption and being adopted out can work that quick. I've got relations in the States. I did speak to them and they said, look, you're looking at 18 months, 2 years, really, for a process to go through. That's it. Let me know down below. What do you think, guys? Has she lost them? Has she not? Was this going on in the background and we just caught the back end of it? But these children, these poor children, I just don't get it. I just don't get how we live in, it's 2022, and like I say, you need a license to drive, you need a license to own a TV in some countries, but children, it seems that you can have them, abuse them, let them down, and lose them, and there just seems to be no repercussion to it. What a fucking world we live in. I'll catch you all in the live later.